Hello, I'm Mike Lacher with Industrial Lubricant. Okay, I'm going to go through the components on a hydraulic system. So when I talk to you on the phone or you're looking to troubleshoot things, you know what we're talking about. This is a split clamp that goes up on the power end. This is what causes the strokes to be counted. It rotates on the end of the crankshaft. This is a mag pickup or a proc switch that's also up on the fluid end, the power end, excuse me, hooked to a bracket that this passes by and counts strokes. Okay, so here we have the injection bank, grease pressure gauge, hydraulic pressure gauge. This is the pressure switch. This is the main grease pump. We have a dipstick here to check the grease level, which I'll run it out, show you. This is a check valve assembly. This is the vent valve. Safety unloaders underneath this guard here. This is a hydraulic block circuit. Okay, I want to talk about the hydraulic circuit on top of the orbital motor. This controls everything that's going on here. This is a flow control valve, and this is a pressure reducing valve. This, you can see, is an adjustable valve, and this is an adjustable valve. Now, these two adjustments are inherent to what kind of flow rate you have coming to the block and what kind of pressure is coming in. So basically, if you've got these and you don't know how to adjust them, call me. I'll walk you through it. Basically what they do is, this valve here controls how fast that orbital motor turns the linear stroke pump. So if you've got this set wide open to where it's causing the orbital motor to rotate really fast, it'll build grease pressure so fast, spike the pressure switch, the green light will come on and go off immediately on the control panel, and you won't get any grease. So that needs to be slowed down. Pressure reducing valve, you can overpressure the system. If you've got the capabilities of figuring it out on your own, adjust that pressure reducing down to 300, no more than 350. So the other components on here, this little brass valve right here is an orifice valve, or an orifice fitting, I should say. So that runs over to the vent valve. That's what pushes down a piston inside of here, and turn the piston hits a needle in a seat, sealing off the vent valve back to the tank so the grease comes through the outlet and over to the injector banks to build pressure. If you cycle the pump and you don't have any hydraulic pressure here, go back to the Frac trailer control panel, verify that you have hydraulic pressure on the system. If you do have hydraulic pressure and we're still not getting anything to this hydraulic manifold, come back and check this two-way cartridge valve. This opens and closes the hydraulic circuit to allow everything to move. So when this energizes, one way of telling it works is hold your hand on it. You can actually feel the valve moving. There'll be a little bit of a click there. Have somebody run a manual lube cycle and you'll feel it bump. If not, just go over to the pressure gauge. Once you run a manual lube cycle, this pressure will come up. That tells you this valve is working. And if you don't feel it moving, just replace the hydraulic two-way cartridge valve and it should go back to work. But if not, just give me a call. I'll walk you through some other things that we can figure out. Okay, by the way, I just want to mention that the hydraulic pressure here should be running between 250 and 300. 200 is acceptable. So when you verify that you have hydraulic pressure on the Frac trailer control panel, that should correlate to what's going on over here if you're using a charged pressure pump to control this system. Okay, I want to talk about red fault light conditions. The very first thing you want to do is pull the dipstick out, verify there's grease in there. If it is empty, fill it up, come over here to the grease pressure gauge, unscrew it, take it out of the hole, come over here to the manual run button, cycle that a bunch of times until the grease comes out of that fitting, runs clear. You'll hear air coming out of there, different things. So once you get a steady stream of grease, then you know all the air's purged out. Reinstall the gauge and manually cycle the pump. You'll see the grease pressure come right back up. Okay, if you have sufficient hydraulic pressure and no grease pressure, just come back here to vent valve line number 2, disconnect it from the fitting, run a manual lube cycle with the black button. If grease is coming out of this vent valve on the back side, that means the vent valve is not sealing. It needs to be replaced. Now you can replace the vent valve, but you can also rebuild them. So don't throw it away. Okay, if you have no grease coming out of the vent valve, what I want you to do next is come over here to the pump and check valve assembly. Remove this JIC fitting, pull this section of fittings out of here, manually cycle the pump. If you have grease coming out of here, that means the pump is working well. Okay, so disassemble this check valve. It comes apart in the middle. Due to the amount of contamination we see in these systems, this will plug off with sand and no grease can go through it. So disassemble it, take brake clean, clean it out, and you'll go right back to work. So things will be good after that. If you don't have any grease coming out of here, that means the check valves in the pump stem are held open by contaminants in the grease, lots of sand in there, so the pump is going to need to be changed out at that point. This is 100% rebuildable. Do not throw it away. Get a hold of us. We can either pick it up at your shop, rebuild it, and get it back to you. So I want to talk to you about the grease pressure switch, which turns the system off when everything is working properly. So let's just say you have grease pressure above 2,000. The pins on the injectors are moving in and out. You're cycling just fine. What the condition is you've got a bad pressure switch, and more than likely what leads back to a bad pressure switch is the way you have it configured in here. So configure it like this, so fresh grease is coming by, pressure switches will always last. Now, if the switch is bad, don't panic. The system is still continuing to count strokes. It's going to run. It's going to keep doing its thing, but just change the switch when you have time to do it.